Hey there, everyone. In today's video, I wanted to walk through this page ranking calculator tool that I had built. What this tool does is it takes into consideration the three main SEO buckets of on-page elements, off-page elements, and technical considerations. So as you're going through and perhaps auditing a singular web page for quick areas of opportunity to improve upon, what does the page's right to rank kind of look like when you take all of these different factors into consideration for these three buckets? So, again, in this example, as you're going through and auditing a web page, you'll go through and click this yes or no toggle. So, in this case, for H1 tags, is it included on page at the top of your heading hierarchy? Is it the right length? Does it contain your primary keyword? Is there only a single H1 tag on page? And for each of these, there's also a help toggle button that basically gives more context regarding some of the criteria that we're looking to audit and how to audit some of those things. And so you'd go through and select yes or no for a number of these different criteria for each of the buckets. And then from there, it has different weights for each of these criteria to then provide a score for not only those three buckets, but just an overall keyword ranking score. So if you were to, let's say, get 10 out of 10, then you have the likelihood that your page would rank in positions 1 or 3. If you, let's say, got 9 out of 10, then your likelihood to rank in positions 4 to 7 is more likely, and so on and so forth. So once you've gone through and kind of selected all of your relevant criteria and yes or no for each items, you'll also include your OpenAI API key. So what this does is it feeds your selections into OpenAI, which will then produce quick recommendations or action items and takeaways based on this quick audit. And so if we go then to calculate the score, you can see again, based on some of the criteria I selected, for on page, there's a score of 7.87 out of 10. For off page, so link building, 5 out of 10. Technical items, 7.8 out of 10. So overall, your score is 7 out of 10 just based on how each of these buckets are weighted and how each of these criteria was weighted for each of these buckets. And from there, even though you have it's decent, a score of 7 out of 10, then the likelihood for your ranking would be 31 through 50, so pages 3 to 5 of Google. But again, this is mainly to give kind of some guidance and shouldn't be taken as gospel, but really just kind of a framework to understand where you could likely land and just break down your biggest opportunities based on these three buckets. And so the other reason I built this tool was, again, just kind of give even just stakeholders a stronger visual aid to understand, okay, we're making these updates and changes. Not only is it just beyond best practice to do some of these things, but if we do these things, we can anticipate that we'll land on page 1 of Google for our target terms. But also, if we only incorporate, let's say, 50% of the recommendations or changes, then we're not going to get all the way to where we otherwise would be forecasted to be to take those top ranking positions. So just kind of giving that more standardized checklist so stakeholders can kind of wrap their head around um, more about like what is that black box of SEO and what goes into it to get the final output. And so below here, you can see the output from OpenAI. So again, going through each of the items, providing an action and what to do, quick high-level improvements. And then you can also download as a Word document. And it basically just takes all that information from the tool and then includes it in a Word doc for you to either disseminate or do some additional research and exploration. So, for example, doing like an audit of your internal linking structure or diving deeper into specific user engagement metrics. So, things of that nature. So, hopefully, you found this video to be helpful. Hopefully, you find this tool to be helpful. Catch you all in the next